Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make mineola marmalade, and mineolas are always very special to me because when I was a kid we stayed on a mineola farm for a vacation once. The farmer had some cottages that he just rented out, and we stayed there, and I remember he reserved 3 trees for us to pick from, and when we got there also the entire cottage was filled with baskets of these fruits. So these are mineolas. They're a cross between a grapefruit and a tangerine. Now they're nothing like either of them. Well, I guess they're closer to tangerines, but they're not bitter at all. They're not bitter at all like a grapefruit would be. They're easy to peel like a tangerine, but they're bigger than a tangerine, and they have a very unique smell, or weird smell. It's not like any other citrus. It's weird good, not weird bad, or just weird weird. So to make marmalade or any other sort of jam or jelly, you need 3 things basically. You need sugar, you need acid, and you need pectin. Now sugar, it's naturally in all fruits, but just not enough of it, so you have to add sugar. Then you also need acid. Now citrus fruits in particular have acid in them, but mineolas are kind of sweeter and more mellow, so I'm gonna add extra lemon juice. And then pectin. Now pectin you can buy it in the store, and if I was making any other type of jam, I probably would go with added pectin, but citrus fruits are naturally higher in pectin, so you'll just have to cook it to naturally bring that out. You can get like artisanal jams that are made without extra added pectin, but the catch is that they cook them for like really long time, so you'll have like strawberry jam, and it won't be like that red pink color that strawberry jam should be, but rather it's like brown tar color because they just cook them for so long. But oranges or citrus fruits, these are going to cook probably for 2 to 3 hours, and that should be enough to naturally draw the pectin out. So what I'm doing here, I'm just separating the flesh of the mineola from the peel, and I'm gonna cook them separately, and you don't even have to worry about these seeds. So it comes out really easily because it's related to a tangerine. And I'm gonna boil this or simmer it for 2 to 3 hours, and what that's gonna do is it's going to draw out the pectin into the liquid, which I'll then use combined with the peel, and that'll make it gel. So I don't want to have to babysit this afternoon, so I'm going to be a bit lazy. I'm going to put this in my crock pot. Now, my crock pot gets hot enough to boil things, so it's going to work. If yours doesn't get that hot, you'll have to do it on the stove instead. So I'm just going to put this on high, and then I'm going to put this all in. And then I'm just going to put also just some water in it to cover it so that it doesn't like start turning brown or anything like that. Okay, so that's probably going to take like maybe 40 minutes to heat up, and then it'll need to cook for that 2 to 3 hours. So I'm just going to put the lid on and come back later. While the pulp is cooking, you're going to want to deal with the rinds. Now you're going to want to take a spoon and scrape out as much of the pith as you can. It's not a big deal if you leave some in. It's not bitter, it's not going to give it a bad taste. It's just not something you really want in the finished product. So just take a spoon, scrape as much as you can out. And then you're just going to want to cut this up. Mineolas have like this weird knob thing on the end, so I'm just going to cut that off. And then the usual way to make marmalade is with slivers of peel in it. But I figured I was going to be a bit different. Instead of doing little slivers, I'm going to do little cubes.
Okay, so I've got the pulp here that I cooked in the crock pot in this bowl, and I'm just going to drain it to get all the liquid out. The liquid contains all the pectin, which is going to help it gel. So just make sure you squeeze all of the juice out because you really need that. And then I've just combined the juice with a bit more water and the peel, and I'm just cooking it until the peel's soft.
There's probably going to be enough pectin in it, but if you want to check, this is a really cool trick. You just need to take a couple spoons of the juice and put it in a little dish. And to that, you just need to add pure alcohol. Just like equal parts. And if you don't have like Everclear, you could even use rubbing alcohol. Obviously, you're not going to pour it back into the pot. Okay, and when the alcohol mixes with the juice, it's going to gel. And so if it gels when you mix it with alcohol, you know that it'll gel if you mix it with sugar and acid. So if you're satisfied that it's cooked long enough to get the pectin out, you're going to want to add acid. Now, I'd suggest you taste it at this point and then add lemon juice until it's like tart, kind of. Okay, it's not at all sour, so I'm probably going to add at least half a cup of lemon juice. Yeah, that's about right. After you add the acid, you're going to have to add the sugar. Now, you're aiming for about equal weight sugar to everything else. So now you're just going to have to wait patiently until it gels. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 2 hours. I can't really help you on that one. You will kind of notice it thickening. Like right now, like the texture, I'd say it's syrupy, but it's not gelled. So you just gotta cook it, that's the only thing I can say. So the marmalade is definitely done now. I guess it's probably been an hour boiling after the sugar. I know that seems like a lot of time, but really you just have to be here. You don't have to be standing over it. As long as you keep checking back every like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, it's fine. But yeah, it's done now. So you see it's gotten thick, and you can tell here it's really thick. Now, homemade marmalade will never get as thick as store-bought because they use way too much pectin in store-bought. Like, it's hard even. Like, you can't spread it on your toast. So I'm just going to put it into sterilized jars now.